Alright everybody, we are back with TEW9, the War of Immortals save, with the WWF Classics. We are here with our Saturday night's main event, July edition. So we are here at the Kentucky International Convention Center in the Mid-Atlantic region. As you can see, we have all our matches booked for tonight. I did have to increase the runtime of the show because I accidentally booked 12 matches on the card. So we're going to go for 4 hours. So I will be right back. And then we will get the show on the road. We are back. We got the entire show booked out here. So let's hop in and start with our Battle Royal in the pre-show. In a pre-show bout that had decent wrestling but didn't have much heat, Rick Rude won a Battle Royal in 11:59 by finally eliminating Kenta Kobayashi. The crowd heat is expected and simmering. The wrestling rating was a 60. The crowd was a 47. The segment got us a 69. The Honky Tonk Man sustained dehydration in the match. Don Morocco seemed off his game. Erwin R. Shyster seemed off his game. Vince and Jesse have pretty good chemistry when calling matches. The commentary quality lifted it. The color commentary gave it a boost. The great performance of Rick Rude really stood out, and Kenta Kobayashi shone in this match. So, I didn't have much for a whole lot of people to do on this card, besides the 12 matches that I had booked already by mistake. So, this is just a battle royal to get some people on the card and see what could be done and everything. The only thing I'm assuming that it did bad for... just inconsistencies with people. So that's not so bad. So let's head in to our main show. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a huge night of action. It's Saturday night's main event, and let me tell you, the card tonight is stacked with the biggest names in the WWFC. That's right, Jesse. Up first, we'll see Roddy Piper faces the great Muta. Muta's dangerous, unpredictable, ruthless, but Piper is ready to prove why he's the best there is. And later tonight, two of the most explosive superstars collide as Randy Savage takes on the Ultimate Warrior. When these two men are going to leave everything in the ring tonight. And don't forget, the WWFC World Heavyweight Championship is on the line when Jake the Snake defends against Mr. Perfect. Will Roberts cement himself as champion, or will Perfect show the world he is absolutely perfect? The tag division is on fire too. The Rougeaus defend their WWFC tag team titles against the Road Warriors. 2 teams, 1 belt, and only one can leave the ring as champion. And in another battle of tag team dominance, the Midnight Express take on Demolition. Strategy, power, heart will be tested in this Clash of Titans. And plus a classic matchup as Larry Zbyszko goes one-on-one with Nick Buckwinkle. These two veterans are ready to prove who belongs at the top of the card. So strap in. WWFC is happening tonight on Saturday night's main event. The action, the drama, the rivalries. You won't want to miss a single second. So the crowd heat is hot and rising. The segment got us an 85. It advanced all our storylines. Jesse Ventura worked the crowd well, using his freedom to improvise to his advantage. The angle got the crowd hotter, and it got the show off to a strong start. So let's head to our first match. In a bout that had good wrestling and decent reaction from the crowd, Arn and Tully defeated the Fabulous Freebirds in 12:46 when Arn pinned Terry Gordy with a spine buster. In terms of ring work, Arn Anderson was head and shoulders above everybody else. Michael Hayes was the weak link, struggling to keep up with everybody else's in-ring performances. The crowd heat is white hot now. The wrestling rating was a 75. The crowd was a 65. The segment got us an 87. Tully had an 82. Arn had a 97. Terry Gordy had a 71. Michael P.S. Hayes had a 50. It also advanced the Horseman and the Freebird storyline. Terry Gordy seemed off his game. Arn and Tully showed excellent chemistry teaming together. They got a tag team specialist bonus. Michael and Terry showed excellent chemistry. Jesse and Vince have pretty good chemistry. The match got the crowd hotter, and Arn looked good out there. So I think it might almost be time to start pushing Arn and Tully towards the tag titles with the performances that they're having. So let's head to our next segment here. Let me tell you something, big boss man. I've fought too hard, I've bled too much, and I've climbed too many mountains to let you take my WWFC television title. You think you can just stroll in and take it from me? Not a chance, buddy. Tonight, I'm bringing that 2x4. I'm bringing that heart, and I'm bringing everything I got. I'm gonna stop you dead in your tracks. Nobody, and I mean nobody, is taking this TV title from me. USA! Ho! The crowd heat is very hot. The segment got us a 75. It advanced the Jim Duggan Big Boss Man storyline there. Whoops, I didn't mean to do that. The commentary quality lifted the segment, so it was just a pre-taped video, if I remember correctly. Yeah, it was just a pre-taped video. So let's head to the Jim Duggan Boss Man storyline. Or match, sorry. In a wild brawl that had great wrestling and decent reaction from the crowd, Hacksaw Jim Duggan defeated Big Boss Man in 12-16 by pinfall with his running clothesline tackle. Jim Duggan makes defense number 3 of the World Television title. The crowd heat is very hot. The wrestling rating got an 82. The crowd got a 62. The segment got a 76. Duggan got an 86. Boss Man got a 78. It advanced the Duggan Boss Man storyline. The match suffered because of lack of psychology. Could have used someone with psychology to construct a proper flow. And Vince and Jesse had pretty good chemistry. Now, I'm just assuming... Yeah, it was penalized for a lack of psychology. Oh, and their stamina, for only going for a couple of minutes there. That's not too horrible. So, let's head to the next segment. I figured this was going to do. Larry, tonight in that Falls Count Anywhere, there's no place to hide, no corner to run, and no referee to save you from what's coming. This war between us, it ends tonight. I've studied you, I've prepped for you. And when the dust settles, everyone will know that I am the one in control, Larry. Get ready, because tonight, I finish this once and for all. And so the crowd is hot and cooling. And I got a 53. Nick begged me to let him improvise this, and it was just poor. So I'm not going to do that ever again. The commentary quality lifted it. The color commentary gave it a boost, and the angle cooled the crowd a little. So let's see if their match can pick it back up here. Fantastic. And a technical masterclass that had good wrestling and decent reaction from the crowd. Nick Bockwinkel defeated Larry Zbyszko in 14:34 by submission. The crowd heat is hot. The wrestling rating got a 73. The crowd got a 67. And the segment got us an 82. Larry Zbyszko had a 79. Nick Bockwinkel had a 67. It advanced the Nick Bockwinkel Larry Zbyszko storyline, and Vince and Jesse have great chemistry. Oh yeah, Nick's poor gimmick. I gotta change his gimmick for him. So let's head to our next segment. Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention? We have an important announcement regarding tonight's card. The Texas Tornado showed up tonight completely unfit to compete, and as a result, his match isn't canceled. I just made a call to change it. But there is an opponent for the unknown man tonight, and that match is up next. So the segment got us a 76. I just kind of improvised on the dialogue there. The crowd heat is white hot. Vince improvised well throughout the segment. The commentary quality lifted it, and the angle got the crowd hotter. So let's head to that match right now. The unknown man is Bruiser Brody, and Davey Boy Smith is now here in the WWFC. In a wild brawl that had good wrestling and decent reaction from the crowd, Bruiser Brody defeated Davey Boy Smith in 11:38 by pinfall with a running knee drop. The crowd is very hot. The wrestling rating was a 73. The crowd reaction was a 68. The segment got a 78. Bruiser Brody had a 76. Davey Boy had a 71. Davey Boy debuted his powerhouse gimmick and it got an initial rating of very good. Lou Albano, who is Davey Boy's manager, got debuted his old school manager gimmick, got a poor. It advanced the Texas Tornado versus Blank storyline, but we now know that the unknown man is Bruiser Brody. The match suffered because of lack of selling on display. Jesse and Vince had pretty good chemistry. The commentary quality lifted it. The color commentary gave it a boost, and Lou Albano did good work at ringside. Gives a large boost to star quality in matches and angles, and penalized, pretty much just for comedy stuff and lengthy matches. But he won't be in lengthy angles at all. So let's head to our next segment. Ted, you think you can just waltz into my ring and take what's mine? You think you can sneak your way into the WWFC Intercontinental Championship? Let me tell you, let me make one thing crystal clear. You're dreaming. Nobody is putting Lex Luger in the rack tonight? Well, that doesn't make any sense. I can't believe I wrote that. I thought there was more to the. You've been around the business long enough to know I don't back down, I don't run, and I sure as the hell don't lose. It's tonight, when the bell rings, I'm walking out and still holding the title. You're gonna regret ever stepping in the ring with me. So go ahead, Ted. Bring your games, bring your tricks, but when it's all said and done, it's my gold, it's my ring, and it's my victory. And you're just another stepping stone on my path to perfection. The crowd heat is hot, very hot. The segment got a 92. It advanced the Lex Luger Ted DiBiase storyline, and the Lex Luger angle idea was a success, which I'm assuming is what helped it get so high, because Luger really cutting good promos just doesn't really happen. So let's head to their match. In a superb match, Ted DiBiase defeated Lex Luger in 14:46 by submission with his $1 million dream. Ted DiBiase wins the Intercontinental title. The crowd heat is very hot. The wrestling rating is an 82. The crowd is an 82. And the segment got us an 88. Lex had an 88. Ted had a 76. It advanced the storyline. The creative finish was a success. Jesse and Vince had pretty good chemistry when calling matches, and Ted DiBiase benefited from having a hot new move. And the only reason that this Intercontinental title change happened is because Lex Luger showed up drunk yesterday and messed up my plans. So he is now being punished for showing up drunk the other day. So you lost your Intercontinental title. I hope you're happy. Sucks to be you. So they are going to have a rematch at SummerSlam. We'll see how Lex shows up. If he shows up drunk one more time, he probably won't win the match at SummerSlam. So let's head to our next segment. Rougeos, listen up, because this is the last time we're going to say it nice. You've been running your mouths, ducking and dodging, thinking you're untouchable, but tonight that ends. You're about to find out what happens when you step into the ring with the Legion of Doom. We don't care about your pretty moves, your fancy words, or your cheap tricks. We care about one thing: the WWFC Tag Team titles. And when the bell rings tonight, you're not just facing the Road Warriors, you're facing the fury of two men who've crushed everyone in their path. And by the end of the night, you're going to kiss those titles goodbye because we're walking out the new WWFC Tag Team Champions. The crowd heat is very hot. The segment got us an 80. It advanced the Rougeau Road Warrior storyline. Road Warrior Animal and Paul Ellering have great chemistry, and the commentary quality lifted it as well. So, let's head to the match. In a bout that had great wrestling and good heat, the Road Warriors defeated the Fabulous Rougeaus in 9:58 when Raymond was counted out while fighting Road Warrior Animal. Raymond was the weak link and struggling to keep up with everybody, even though he wasn't that bad at the match. So the crowd heat is very hot. The wrestling rating got an 83. The crowd got a 70. The segment got us a 90. Raymond had a 71. Jacques had an 83. Road Warrior Hawk had an 85. And Animal had a 94. It advanced the Rougeau Road Warrior storyline, and it gained heat as well. Jacques and Raymond showed excellent chemistry teaming together. Hawk and Animal showed excellent chemistry. They have a tag team specialist bonus. Vince and Jesse have pretty good chemistry when calling matches. Jimmy Hart did good work at ringside. Jacques and Jimmy have good chemistry. Raymond and Jimmy have pretty good chemistry. And Road Warrior Animal and Paul Ellering have good chemistry. So they sneak out one more little title win here by getting counted out so that they could retain the titles. Man, these Rougeaus, they are just sneaky trying to keep these titles from the Road Warriors. So let's head to our next segment. Ladies and gentlemen, and I use that term loosely, you think you've seen everything in the WWFC. Think again. My client, the one and only Sid Vicious, has a little problem. A mystery problem. A mystery challenger, if you will, who thinks he can step into the ring and survive. This mystery guy, whoever he is, he doesn't know what he's in for. I'm not playing games. I don't care if he's fast, strong, or has a fancy name. Come tonight, he's stepping in the ring with me, and he's going down hard, fast, and he's staying down. Sid's right. Nobody, and I mean nobody, has what it takes to stop Sid Vicious, and that includes this so-called mystery challenger. By the time Sid's done with him, he's gonna wish he never signed that contract. Step up and face me or don't. Doesn't matter. Either way, the result is the same. I'm walking out the winner, and remember, I don't lose. So the crowd heat is very hot. The segment got an 88, which is really good because I only did Sid on Intimidation and Bobby on Cutting a Promo. And normally when you put people on Intimidation, it doesn't get good ratings anymore. So Bobby Heenan looked good, and Bobby Heenan benefited from having a hot catchphrase as well. So let's see what it was. Amazing heel, legendary gimmick. Amazing heel, good momentum. Hot new catchphrase. Well, hey, you know what? It's really good. So let's hop into Sid's match. In a superb wild brawl, Razor Ramon, who made his debut, defeats Sid in 7:02 with an outsider's edge. The crowd heat is very hot. The wrestling rating got an 84. The crowd got an 80. The segment got a 70, which sucks. Razor had a 73. Sid had a 94. And he got a poor gimmick, too. Razor debuted his unique, charismatic gimmick, and it got a poor. Vince and Jesse had pretty good chemistry when calling matches. Sid benefited from having a hot new move. And win and losses have greater impact on his popularity change. And the gimmick is very... he'll sell a lot more merchandise than usual. That's pretty good. So, Scott Hall got fired from WCW NWO. So, I decided to bring him in and give him a run here, and we'll see what happens with him. If we have too many drug problems with him, I'm just going to fire him. I'm not I'm not gonna put up with that. But we gave him a win over Sid, so let's see how things work out for him. So let's head to our next segment. Not too bad, but it lost the match heat. So it's just a video package of hyping up Jake and Mr. Perfect's match. The commentary quality lifted it. The crowd heat is very hot. So let's head to their match. Holy snikes. In a bout that had sensational wrestling and fantastic heat, Jake the Snake defeated Mr. Perfect in 16:22 by pinfall with his DDT. Jake the Snake makes defense number 1 of the WWFC World Heavyweight Championship. The crowd heat is very hot. The wrestling rating got a 100. The crowd got an 86. The segment got us a 94. Mr. Perfect had a 99. Jake had a 100. It advanced their storyline and it gained heat. Now, Mr. Perfect and Jake the Snake have great chemistry, and it showed in their performances. And Jesse and Vince have pretty good chemistry when calling matches together. So I did not expect this match to do that good. That's why it is this early in the show. But that honestly is fantastic. It's got low storyline heat, so that's why it didn't do any better than a 94. So that is really great. We might run this back one more time at SummerSlam and see what happens with it. Maybe put it a little higher up on the card. So let's head to the next segment. Ladies and gentlemen, whoops. Hold on to your seats, because tonight in this very ring you're going to witness a clash of two titans, two warriors who leave nothing behind but chaos, pain, and destruction. On one side, you have the man they call Dr. Death, my client, my friend, Steve Williams, a powerhouse, a brawler, and a man who dominated every opponent who's dared to step in his path. And on the other side, a man known for his ferocity, his submission skills, and sheer will, Ken Shamrock, the Lion of the Octagon, a fighter who terrorizes everyone in his way. But let me tell you something, Ken Shamrock. No matter how tough, no matter how cunning, he has never faced someone like Steve Williams in this ring. Tonight, there will be no shortcuts, there will be no excuses. The ring will become a battlefield, and only one man will walk out standing tall. Ken Shamrock, prepare yourself, because Steve Williams is coming for you. And when he gets done, you will remember why they call him Dr. Death. Get ready, WWFC fans, because this fight you will never forget. So the crowd heat is very hot. The segment got an 84. I'm actually really surprised that JR did that good, but that's really great. It advanced the Ken Shamrock Steve Williams storyline. So let's hit their match now. I also did an 84 too. That's pretty good. Oh my god. In a wild brawl that had good heat and decent wrestling, or good wrestling and decent reaction from the crowd, Ken Shamrock defeated Steve Williams in 10:24 by pinfall. The crowd heat is very hot. The wrestling rating got a 74. The crowd got a 64. The segment got an 84. Ken Shamrock had a 69. Steve Williams had a 79. It advanced and gained heat, and we also ended it as well. Jesse and Vince have pretty good chemistry. Now, Ken Shamrock complained about putting over Steve Williams, and Steve Williams did better than he did in in-ring performances. I should have just went the way I was going to with it. But it is what it is. So let's head to the next segment. Demolition, I've heard all the chatter. I've heard all the big talk about how you think you're going to come in here and take the WWFC World Tag Team titles from my boys, the Midnight Express. Well, let me make one thing crystal clear. You have no chance. My boys, Bobby Eaton. Whoa, why does it say Dennis Condrey? And Stan Lane. They are the fastest, the smartest, and the most ruthless tag team in this business today. You think your big muscles and your fancy face paint are going to scare anybody? Ha! Not in my ring. Not with the Midnight Express in it. Demolition, you may be strong, you may be tough, but you don't have the brains, the teamwork, or the guts to take these titles from my men. And it's tonight, when the bell rings, I'm going to make sure the world sees just how hopeless you really are. You want those titles, you'll have to pry them from the hands of the Midnight Express, and I guarantee it won't happen. So the crowd heat is very hot. The segment got a 77, so that's not too bad. It advanced the Midnight Express demolition storyline. Jim Cornette improvised well. The commentary and Jim benefited from having a hot catchphrase. I'm assuming that the storyline. Okay, well, whatever. So let's head to their tag team match. In a decent match, the Midnight Express defeated Demolition in 9:59 when Bobby Eaton pinned Demolition Smash with the rocket launcher. The Midnight Express make defense number 5 of the WWFC World Tag Team titles. The crowd heat is very hot. The wrestling rating got a 70. The crowd rating got a 62. The segment got a 76. Stan Lane had a 68. Bobby Eaton had an 80. Smash had a 60. Axe had a 73. It advanced the Midnight Express demolition storyline. Bobby Eaton and Stan Lane showed excellent chemistry. Axe and Smash showed excellent chemistry. Vince and Jesse have pretty good chemistry when calling the matches. The commentary quality lifted the match. Jim Cornette did good work at ringside. Bobby Eaton and Jim Cornette have good chemistry. Stan Lane and Jim Cornette have good chemistry as well. So we see the Midnight Express making one more defense of the titles. I wonder how everything's going to go when they have to face Strikeforce at SummerSlam. So let's head to the next segment. Which is just another. I guess I should have just did a promo here and it would have did better. As it was just a video of everything going on between Randy Savage and the Ultimate Warrior. Got a 79. It lost heat. The commentary quality lifted it. So let's head to their main match here. In a bout that had sensational wrestling and fantastic heat, the Macho King Randy Savage defeated the Ultimate Warrior in 15:01 by pinfall with his flying elbow drop. The crowd heat is very hot. The wrestling rating got a 97. The crowd got a 87. The segment got a 99. Macho King had a 96. Warrior had a 97. That is so weird seeing that Warrior's outperforming Macho Man. The Macho King, and Warrior had pretty good chemistry and it lifted the match. Jesse and Vince had pretty good chemistry when calling matches, and the match got the crowd hotter. So one more win there for the Macho King. And then the Ultimate Warrior. Man, these guys put on good matches. So let's head to our final segment before the main event. Fans. Oh, hang on a second here. Fans of the WWFC, you're about to witness history. For weeks, everyone has been asking the question, who's the next Horseman? Who's going to stand alongside the most dangerous group in professional wrestling? Well, tonight, you finally have your answer. Gentlemen, boys and girls, allow me to present to you the Nature Boy, Ric Flair. Woo! Do you feel that? Do you feel the electricity? Because when you're styling and profiling, jet flying, limousine riding, kiss stealing, wheeling dealing son of a gun walks into the WFC, the whole world changes. And before anyone asks, I've got one more announcement to make. Oh yeah, okay. I have guided champions, managed legends, but this Horseman, they don't need a man looking over their shoulder. They need a general leading the army. Ladies and gentlemen, meet the new manager of the New Horsemen, J.J. Dillon. From this moment forward, I take a step back and I give this group the greatest mind to ever guide champions. This is an just a change in management. This is a declaration of war. The New Horsemen aren't here to compete, they're here to control the WWFC. And now, let's talk about a so called champion, Roddy Piper. Piper, you can run your mouth, you can play your little mind games, but you can't out wrestle me, you can't outclass me, and you sure as hell can't outfight me. I'm gonna drop you in the middle of the ring, and I'm taking the WWFC Championship because that title was made for one kind of man, a nature boy. Woo! The horsemen ride, and the WWFC will fall in line. So the first segment of Bobby introducing everybody got an 81. The second part of Rick and Bobby and JJ cutting the promos got an 86. Ric Flair debuted his Nature Boy gimmick. It got a great. JJ debuted his old school manager gimmick, and it got an adequate. Um, it advanced all the storylines. Bobby Heenan looked good. JJ improvised well. Bobby did a masterful job. Bobby benefited from having a hot catchphrase in both segments. So JJ's gimmick got a marketable. He'll sell more merchandise, and it gives a large penalty to charisma during matches and angles. And Bricks does nothing, which doesn't surprise me. So let's head to our main event of the night. Yes, in a superb, about to head superb wrestling and great heat, Roddy Piper defeated the Great Muta in 16-19 by pinfall. The match was to try to steal the show. Roddy Piper makes defense number 3 of the WWFC Championship. The crowd heat is very hot. The wrestling rating got an 87. The crowd got an 83. The segment got us a 99. Piper had a 95. Muta had a 78. It advanced the Piper Muta storyline. Piper's creative finish was a success. Vince and Jesse show pretty good chemistry. Muta and James Mitchell are a great pairing. Muta was visibly tiring after 16 minutes, which is so weird because it's not even true. And the match got the crowd buzzing. So that is everything for this episode. So let's finish off the show here. We got a 95 for this one. Wow, that is amazing. The show increased our popularity in regions, and we would have gained 6 in Canada, but we were restricted due to the limited number of viewers. So let's address the locker room. So let's talk to Roddy Piper, Macho King Randy Savage, The Ultimate Warrior, who the hell? Oh, Sid. Sid had a good performance in his match. Oh, we'll make the speeches. Everybody was happy and or pleased. The injury review, Honky Tonk Man will be good in 3 days for dehydration. That's so messed up. The financial report, we made $4.8 million on this show. The pop recap, so we are up to 86 just about everywhere in New England. We're 88, 87 in Southwest, 88 in the Tri-State, 78 in Puerto Rico, and 81 in Hawaii. So that's not bad. That's really good. The media scrum, let's see here, didn't do well last month. With all the competitions putting on better shows, how can you out of the spiral? Big date SummerSlam is almost upon us. I finalized the legendary wrestling show. It seems like everyone's a successful show. What are your thoughts? Don't like each other. Oh, I didn't mean to actually do that. Oh, shoot. Okay, due to his relationship with Arnie, like the thing. Oh no, it's gonna show somebody that hasn't debuted yet. The Nature Boy and Sting, David Flair, Terry Funk, Ted Turner, Batista, Tommy Young. They're all happy. Like everybody's happy. Holy smokes! I don't even know what the hell I clicked. I accidentally clicked something. Okay, whatever. Although not on your roster. Okay, so we're just gonna take a quick look around. We'll check out a few of the rosters. I'm just hoping that some of the contracts that I've been throwing out, nobody's accepted anything yet because I want to keep those hidden a little bit from everybody. Oh man, this takes forever. There's so many people in this mod. Okay, so let's hop through everything here. Tori Wilson's gone to TV show. He's injured. Um, so many pay-per-view events in the last month. We only had one pay-per-view this month. Kamala doesn't connect with the fans. The buy rate. What does it mean that we showed? It was more than a month away from each of them. Well, that's weird. Okay, well, whatever. So let's head into AEW. Check out their titles. Jungle Boy's the All Atlantic Champion. He beat Cody Rhodes 25 days ago. The AEW Tag Team Champions are Mark Quinn and Isaiah Cassidy. They beat Frankie Kazarian and Scorpio Sky. The TBS champion is Penelope Ford, who beat Chris Statlander. The TNT champion is David Von Erich, who beat Jake Hager. The Women's Tag Team Cup, they haven't held it yet. The World Champion is Bryan Danielson. The World Trios is Dustin Rhodes, Matt, and Nick Jackson. They've been champions pretty much since the start. Holy. The Women's World Champion is still Casey Catanzaro. The FTW champion is Roderick Strong, who beat Sean Spears, so that's not too bad then. AWA doesn't really isn't going to have anything. Ole and Buddy Rose and Doug Summers. I thought about bringing them in, but they just don't. They don't have any popularity, and I'm not willing to kill anybody's pop to bring them in. Hang on, let me just check something here. Just handshakes. Midwest. Okay. ECW Reborn. They're almost $1 million in debt there. Tommy Dreamer is still the ECW champion, so that's not too bad. Now the ECW, Sandman's still the champion. Little Guido and Tony Mamaluca, the tag team champions. Somebody finally beat Public Enemy for the title. And then the Blue Meanie is the ECW World Television Champion. Did they hold any? Oh, they did. They had Heatwave. Nice. The Sandman defeated Sabu and Terry Funk for the title, so that's not too bad. Rhino defeated Modeby. The Blue Meanie defeated Crush in a ladder match. Well, that's fun. The FBI defeated Wild and Wicked to retain the titles. That is so cool. Okay, so I guess we could check out Impact. They had Slammiversary last month. Oh no, a couple weeks ago. Oh shoot, LAX defeated Hellbound to retain the Impact World Tag Team titles. Um, Dave Christ defeated Desmond Xavier, Bram, DJZ to retain the X Division title. Laredo Kid retained the won at the digital media title. Well, shoot, that's pretty good. Okay, let's check out the titles there. Laredo Kid is the new champion. The Grand Champion is Ace Austin. The Knockouts Champion is Rosemary. The World Champion is Spud. World Tag Team is Ortiz and Santana. And the X Division is Dave Christ. He's only been champion for about a month. That's not bad. Excuse me. Okay, Lucha Underground. Let's see what they got going on. Nothing really, honestly. He has Tekka Medallion is Brian Cage. Gift of Gods is Drago. The Lucha Underground champion is Penta, and he's been champion for 200 days. And Vibrato, Reclusa, and Sexy Star are the Trios champion. The NWA. Let's see how they're doing. Oh, wait, what happened? They had a Clash of Champions in June. Dusty defeated Robert Gibson for the NWA Heavyweight title. Sheik Ayatollah Blackwell defeated Oli to retain the United National Champion. Not too bad of a show. Now let's check out the champions now. The Crockett Cup hasn't. Was Ole Anderson and Ricky Steamboat. The Midwest Heavyweight Champion is Ken Anderson or Ken Kennedy. He's only been champion for a day. He just won the title. The World Heavyweight Champion is Dusty Rhodes, who's been champion for 190 days. And Robert Gibson and Dory Funk, because Ricky Morton is in WCW NWO. NXT. They had Takeover Texas. Man, this guy is still champion. Akuma. I don't even know who that guy is. But he's still the champion, and he's been champion for like ever. What's his popularity? Well, he's getting over. He's up to a 42 at pretty much everywhere now. Oh, shoot. I wanted to look at the rest of it. Johnny Gargano defeated Jonah Rock and Keith Lee for the North American title. The Treaty defeated the Machines for the tag titles. Ruby Riott defeated Nikki Cross for the NXT UK Women's title. Jessica Carr defeated Io Shirai for the NXT Women's title. Yeah, Dusty Classic hasn't been done. Rich Swann and Relic. Ruby Riott, Jessica Carr, the referee, the women's champion, and Matt Riddle is still the UK champion. NXT 2.0, they did the Great America Bash. Santos Escobar defeated Grayson Waller, Cameron Grimes for the NXT 2.0 championship. Mandy Rose defeated Dakota Kai by DQ for the 2.0 women's title. Marcel Bartel defeated Trick Williams to retain the North American title. Neo defeated Jensen and Briggs and the Creed brothers for the NXT 2.0 tag team titles. Let me see who this Neo is. Whoa. Duke Hudson and Harlem Bravado. Yeah, that's just all their titles, yeah. And nobody's got a picture besides Marcel Bartel. Ooh, OVW. Oh, they had a Saturday night special. Zach Gowen defeated Chris Nowitzki and Aaron Stevens to retain the OVW title. Man, I want to play as OVW so bad. So Zach Gowen is the OVW heavyweight champion. The Southern Tag Team is the Bashams. The Boogeyman is the television, and the women's is vacant. Oh, Ring of Honor, here we go. Respect is earned. Hurricane Helms defeated Colt Cabana. Matt Jackson defeated Spanky. BJ Whitmer defeated Kyle O'Reilly to retain the TV title. Okay, let's check out their titles. And the Women's of Honor is vacant. What's the Fabulous Moolah? I wonder what happened. The ROH Heavyweight is Paul London. He's been champion for 184 days. The six man is Chris Hero and the Briscoes. They beat Spanky and Matt and Nick Jackson. The tag team are the Wolves, and the television is BJ Whitmore. Nice. At TNA, they had Victory Road at the beginning of the month. Kurt Angle defeated MVP to retain the TNA World Heavyweight Championship. AJ Styles defeated Haystack Calhoun and Brian Pillman in a ladder match to retain the X Division the television title. Alex Shelley defeated Frankie Kazarian to retain the X Division title. Triple X defeated Beer Money for the World Tag titles. Demi Bennett defeated Gail Kim and ODB and Awesome Kong for the Knockout title, and that's pretty much it. I can't believe that they signed. Whoops. I did not want to look at Gail. They signed Rhea Ripley away from NXT. But we'll just take a quick look at Demi Bennett, AJ, Kurt Angle. Kurt's been putting on like match upon matches. Like 98, 96, 96, 91, 89, 98, 92, 99. Like his worst match for the titles when he won it at Genesis. Like that is just so ridiculous. He's such a machine. Triple X and then Alex Shelley. So NWO, WCW, so their titles, the Cruiserweight Champion is Super Crazy, who just won the title. The U.S. Champion is Big Van Vader, who beat CM Punk, who beat Ricky Morton, who beat Edge. And the World Heavyweight Champion is still Bill Goldberg. And the World Tag Team is Shawn Michaels and Magnum TA. Now, Kevin Nash is still there, is he not? Whoops, I didn't mean to hit that. I meant to hit this. Kevin Nash. Yeah, he's there. Contract doesn't expire until September. He's pretty over, too. Magnum TA should be getting more over now that he's the tag team champion. Kind of. Shawn Michaels went there and is now killing it. And Sting. Oh, he works as a heel too. That's so weird. So let's check out WCW. They had Bash at the Beach. The Patriot defeated Sam Steamboat for the Hardcore title. And the Center for Excellence defeated All Out Assault for the tag titles. And that's about it. They didn't even have their world title on the line. The World Heavyweight... Oh, it's because it's vacant. Dr. Death was his last champion. July 19th. Well, that was 2 days ago that he... But he's been here for a while now. Okay, well, the Patriots, the Hardcore champion, the World Tag Team champions are Max Payne and Eli Drake, and the World Television is vacant because Eddie Gilbert had dropped it at the beginning of the month. WCCW, ooh. Missing Link defeated Tatanka in a dog collar match for their title. Not bad. WWF Summer Super Show. Pedro Morales defeated Samoa Joe for the WWF United States title, which is really weird that Bruno wouldn't have defended his title. Pedro is the U.S. champion. The U.S. tag is Rocky and Tony Atlas. And Bruno is the World Heavyweight Champion. He's been champion for 184 days. Holy. WWE. Their champions are Trish is the Divas champion. The Royal Rumble was won by nobody. The tag team is Eugene and Jamie Noble, who beat Eminem for the title. The U.S. champion is Umaga, and the World Heavyweight is JBL. I did not know JBL won the title. That is funny. Where'd he win it? JBL defeated Brock Lesnar on Raw. He beat him on Raw. That's hilarious. WWE Universe, they had SummerSlam on a Thursday. Alrighty. Seth defeated Roman in the main event. Oh, that's pretty good. So their champions, the 24/7 is Sami Zayn. Seth Rollins won the Andre the Giant. The Cruiserweight is Xavier Woods. The Raw Women's is Mandy Rose. The Royal Rumble was won by nobody. The SmackDown Tag Team is Big E and Kofi Kingston. The Universal is Antonio Cesaro still. Nobody won that one. And the Women's Tag Team Champions are Naomi and Asuka. The Attitude is... the European is Shocker. The Hardcore is the Great Khali. The Intercontinental is Vacant. Well, that's weird. So they just vacated it off of Rob Van Dam for no reason. The Royal Rumble is nobody. World Heavyweight is now back to Steve Austin. Actually, he's been champion for 20 days. I won it on Raw in a steel cage, so that's not bad. Holy shoot. Like 92, 99, 99, 96, 99, 99, 96, 99, 99, 99. Man. And its prestige is only a 96. That's so weird. And then the tag team champions are the current and 10-time, the Dudley Boys. Oh shoot, I didn't even notice that Supply and Demand were the tag team champions twice. And for 127 days, too. That's pretty cool. So, let's check out the New Generation. In Your House, July. Bret Hart defeated Dean Douglas in a 91, and it got him up to an 80. Because the rest of the show sucked. That's hilarious. But their champions, Yokozuna is the WWF champion. Hey, he's not putting on the best matches. Only when he faces Bret Hart. The Intercontinental is Mad Dog Vachon. The Intercontinental Tag Team Champions are Well Done. King of the Ring is Bret Hart. Royal Rumble is nobody. And the Women's Champion is Nikki Bella. She beat Alundra Blaze. She's been putting on pretty good matches. Ooh, God, no, not really. And Nikki Bella defeated Sasha Banks. She beat Alundra Blaze at WrestleMania to become the Women's Champion. Oh, boy. Okay, well, that is the end of this episode. I will see everyone in the next one.